Hello, all, and welcome to yet another Kenny Anderson episode here on All Red. We liked it so much we had to do it twice today, and we're just going to talk about what's kind of next for Liverpool after the storm that was City at Anfield. Now it just kind of feels like the calm after the storm. Liverpool still competing on three fronts after they have secured their first cup of the season, beating Chelsea in the Carabao League Cup. So we've got some matches coming up that seem a little bit lower pressure, Kenny, especially this one coming up on Thursday in the Europa League after a 5-1 thrashing out in Prague. I don't know who Klopp starts in that game. I think he keeps the pressure on just a smidge.
Yeah.
But I expect to see a lot of the kids come in that one, which will be really fun to watch at Anfield.
I think I put together what I think is going to be the lineup.
Oh, let's hear it.
Yeah. So Kelleher, the Irish number one, stops goals for fun. He's obviously starting. The back four I actually did Bradley, Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, and Robertson. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. And
you think Klopp goes with that for Sparta?
Yeah, I think he does go with that four, mostly
Okay.
just because Konate, I don't think he's back until United, and I went Robertson as the other wing back just because I actually think that he puts Joe Gomez into that CDM role again.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I think Joe Gomez will probably be in there because we're up 5-1. I feel like if he is going to try to rest like that core midfield, this is the time to do it. So I put Joe Gomez as CDM. I then did Clark and McConnell, kind of exactly how they did that the Southampton game.
Okay.
And then up top, I don't know if he brings Kumas back. He might probably do like a Salah Nunez Elliott, and then substitution wise, like if we need it, he'll probably bring on like Sobo McAllister or Endo. Like I guess maybe. I would think that he probably takes off either Kwanzaa or Van Dijk for one of those subs, and then just moves Joe Gomez probably back into center back role.
Yeah,
that's what I would think would happen.
I could see Klopp doing that and using every single one of his substitutions to keep people fresh. I
Exactly.
like what he's been doing to kind of keep players in the action without spending them too much. I was actually surprised to see the starting lineup post League Cup win, where several of our players played 120 plus minutes,
and they're right back.
And it was Van Dijk, it was Elliott, and I think Diaz. I don't know if Diaz started the next game after that, but they started the next game, and it was like, what? So it seems like Klopp wants to keep his kind of core in the games, keep them fresh, which I love because it does seem like when a player, even if it's like a midweek game like this Sparta game, it seems like if you skip a game, you just come out a little bit flat in the next one. And I actually think that the FA Cup match at the weekend against United at Old Trafford is going to be a much more difficult game than Sparta at home, especially with a 5-1 lead going into that one. So Sparta will be fun because it's at Anfield. It's a European night.
Yeah.
And I expect to see some of the kids come out and just to see the kids get to play in that kind of atmosphere is just, it's thrilled. It's thrilled.
Yeah. I think any kind of like just blooding him in like the European atmosphere, I think that would be a fantastic experience for him.
Yeah.
And I honestly, like, if we do use like a bunch of the academy kids, I can kind of see this game being pretty even. We're clearly like the better team, but like that's Sparta. Like, from watching them the first game, they have all the technical ability in the world. They're able to string passes together, and when they commit people forward, they commit them like very effectively. Like they're able to break through the back line, like, and just get like three people kind of running down the sideline and try to get like a cross in to meet a striker coming through. So like. I think this would be like a very good experience for like the young kids just to like play a team that's not English based, like get them to like see what exactly is out in the world and like the other type of skill set like that these teams kind of bring to a game. And I think that will honestly be like perfect for them.
I think Sparta is better than a 5-1 result at home. I
Yeah,
think they could have scored more than one. Kelleher was immaculate in that game and just made some incredible saves. But it's at Anfield. It's a European night at Anfield. I would love to see Mohamed Salah start maybe alongside a kid or two.
yeah,
And I'd love to see Nunez at some point come on as well, just to kind of keep him fresh. I'd love to see Salah start to just get
yeah,
him kind of back up to speed and get him back into the first team. I don't think he really needs that, but I want
yeah.
to see it, and I want to just see him get some minutes to
I would
kind of
see
prep
Nunez come
him.
off the bench if Dan's wasn't
Yeah,
injured,
yeah.
because I guess I don't really know like who starts in that center forward role with
I,
like
I could see Gakpo. I could see
yeah,
Gakpo getting minutes. He needs minutes. He needs to kind of get out of this funk that he's in, and get back to. He used to be. I mean, earlier in the season, Gakpo was one of our most clinical finishers
yeah,
when he got minutes, and now he's kind of in that Nunez funk where he's like in the right positions a lot of the time, and just hasn't been able to put the ball in the back of the net as much as you would like to see. I think
yeah,
Diaz is kind of in the same. He's in the same boat where Diaz, more than anyone in our team, has had so many quality chances, and he's a
yeah.
full credit to him. He's getting into these positions. I mean, the two chances he had in the second half at City or
Ugh.
versus City was like, dude, it was like surely he's offside because he's a mile ahead of anybody else, and he
Hurts to
wasn't.
think
He was
about.
onside. So his movement, the ability he has to get behind
Yeah,
is amazing, similar to Nunez.
yeah,
Darwin seems to be maybe starting to finish more, and now
yeah,
Diaz and Gakpo are kind of like in that funk. So they'll get out
yeah,
of it. They just need
yeah.
time. They need minutes.
I agree.
Um,
Gakpo again, I think is one of the best at linking up between the midfield and then getting the ball out
yes,
to the wings. I think
yes,
he's one of the best players. Like when he first came in and he got right in, I thought like this is kind of a take from me, but I actually thought he was the closest thing you could probably get to Roberto Firmino. He was
yeah,
definitely not that player, but just the way that he was able to play that false nine role, be able to connect with the midfield, drop in, get the ball going forward. I
yep,
honestly, he's when he's actually like goal scoring, firing, he's one of the more exciting players to be up
yeah,
top, and I think like it's pretty hard to like choose between Gakpo and Nunez like when they're both at the top of their game. I guess I'd probably still go Nunez, but Gakpo brings that
yeah,
extra bit to be able to connect to the midfield.
yeah. There must be something in that Dutch buttermilk because the way that Gakpo and Gravenberg can just take the ball out of the air, turn, and just start running for 30 to 40 yards. They both do that, and it's just incredible. They've got
Yeah,
one or two
Gravenberg's
guys on their back.
his ball carrying ability
Yeah.
is unreal.
The way that he just does those little tiny
Yeah.
like shoulder shakes and then he's gone. And Gakpo can do the same thing where it's like if they've got their back to goal and they're able to turn, they're going to turn and they're going to
Yeah.
get space. And so, yeah, I'd love to see Salah and Gakpo kind of get some in. I think Salah's return as well. Salah does not just score goals; he creates so
Yep.
much space and so many chances for the rest of the attackers in that side. And so I think don't forget that kind of Darwin and Salah, that combo was producing a lot of goals early on in the season. I think like 8 out of Darwin's first 10 assists were to
Yeah,
Salah or
we're too
something like
Salah.
that. It's like every time he was assisting, it was to Salah. So yeah, Sparta at home. I'm not going to say that it's going to be an easy game, but I'm
Yeah.
really excited for it because I think that there's low pressure, and I think we'll be able to see some of the young kids come in and get some European night minutes, which will be really really thrilling to see.
Yeah.
Interesting one at the weekend for the FA Cup. I can't imagine. Uh, I can't imagine that Manchester United wouldn't love to knock us out of one of our trophies and
Yeah.
avoid the Klopp-druple that is continuing to thrive this season. I don't want to be disrespectful, but it is Man U, so I will be. Is this the biggest? Is this the biggest game of their season, Kenny, for Man United?
I mean, they have like a little bit of form going. Like they've won quite a few games like within like the last 5 or 6. They've been really good since like the turn of the year. I think I forget how. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna reach anywhere like fourth place. I think they're way too far back for that. But like maybe if Tottenham fall apart a little bit, which I don't see, they'll probably finish in sixth. I think they're probably a cut above everybody else at the moment. Um, so it might honestly be because this is their best shot at a trophy. So, or I think it's their only shot at a trophy. I don't think they're in anything else. Um, so I can honestly see them like really going for this, especially being at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Like that, like
Yeah.
it's gonna make an atmosphere. It's gonna be a good game,
Yeah.
and cup football is like always a toss up, honestly, because
It is.
if you get them going the right way, like they can be effective. They have dangerous players, but like
Yep.
we're definitely even with absentees like the better team on paper.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like I think
100%.
like if you have like the midfield of like Endo, McAllister, Soboslai, like they don't get a sniff of the ball playing through the middle. Like they're gonna have to be
Yeah.
playing counterattack. So it should be fun though. It should be a really good game.
Yeah. I would love to see our strongest 11 for that match,
I think
considering
they
that
do.
there's what is it, like 11 or 12 days before our next game after
Yeah.
that. So there is a break after that. And I'd love to see our strongest 11, not just to progress in the FA Cup, but to kind of see what is our actual best 11 with all the returnees from injury. You obviously have Salah in there, probably Nunez and Diaz, and then the midfield
Yep.
three that we saw against City, which is just incredibly strong, of
Yeah.
Soboslai, McAllister, and Endo. By the way, Wataru Endo, he's world class. He's a world class number 6
He's
that we
so good.
that we somehow stole at the end of the transfer window. He is an incredible player who I think I don't think you can even argue this. He outplayed the two of the best midfielders in the world on Sunday against Manchester City and forced Pep Guardiola to take off Kevin De Bruyne at like the 67th minute mark, and De Bruyne was not happy about it. That was not
No, he
something that he
wasn't.
was happy about. And the memes were fantastic. It was De Bruyne crying on the bench saying, Dad, I don't want to play anymore. That Japanese kid won't give me my ball back," which is just
Endo
fantastic.
he is so fun to watch. And when you can watch a defensive midfielder play and enjoy him watching, you know just how good he is. Because he's not very big, he's not very fast, but that just like is a tribute to like how good he is positionally. He reads the game so well, and you could tell like when he first got in here, he didn't quite get up to the speed. Like the Bundesliga is like definitely very, very back and forth. Like
Yeah.
I guess the EPL, like you can have that, but there's more quality. You can kind of have ebbs and flows to a game. But like when he actually got up to speed, you could tell early on just how he reads the game. He just needed to kind of get a few games to kind of understand the flow of the game and how to play it in the system. And he's just so good.
Yeah.
And him and McAllister next to each other, the way they both understand the game and what they need to do, they are able to just dominate the midfield. And it's so fun to watch.
Endo is not just a defender, a defensive midfielder. The passes
Yeah.
he's able to put forward are pretty
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, there was a
It's
pass
so great.
against City where it's one of those passes where right after he like kicks the ball, you're like, "Oh, what are you? Oh, wow, that was an amazing pass." I mean, just through 5 or 6 different City players, just strings it through. And I agree. Wataru Endo, it's like you could go like a minute or two where it's like you don't even see him in the frame, and then all of a sudden he's like, boom, and he's there and he's got the ball, and we're now counterattacking because of his work on the defensive side.
Just
Um,
so awesome.
it's also just incredible to think about the way we got him in the summer and how everyone was like so sad that we missed out on 120
God,
million pound
people
signings.
just you gotta understand when Klopp at this point, like what else does Klopp need to do to just be like, I don't care who he signs. He could
Yeah,
sign some guy from like the freaking like
from the Phillies.
13th tier of the English pyramid. If he comes in and be like, yeah, this guy's gonna be a freaking world beater.
Uh-huh.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I knew a little bit about Endo because he's the captain of Japan. One of my very good friends, he's actually from Japan. So
Hmm.
like during like World Cup events and that kind of stuff, like I had a little bit more of like paying attention to the Japanese team, and like I knew a little bit about him, and he had always been one of the best defensive mids in the Bundesliga, which is a very high octane
Yeah.
attacking league. And so he obviously knows how to deal with like a team flying at you.
Yeah.
And so it just took him time to settle in, and once he did,
Yep.
you can't move him.
Yeah, he's an experienced player, 30 years old, captain of the Japanese team, which is a very good national side, by the way. And he no wonder, coming into a Klopp side where we know what Klopp looks for in players. It's players who can just engine it for 90 plus, sometimes 120 minutes plus, and be everywhere on the field. And that's exactly what Endo can do. He's an engine and he never stops. And he's got a lot of technical ability as well. So, anyways, what were we even talking about? We were talking about old Old Trafford, Old Trafford on Sunday. FA Cup. I obviously, as Liverpool fans, we want to win that one. We want to come away at Old Trafford. I am not as familiar with FA Cup rules. Does that one go to penalties if it's still tied, or is there a second? Is there a second round?
I feel like I I think the earlier rounds they did just go straight to penalty, or no.
Is it the
I
fifth round?
League Cup goes League Cup I know went straight to penalties.
Yeah.
I think the earlier rounds might have had replays.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not as clear. Either way, I let's just win it in regular time
Yeah.
and
Just get the job done.
just get the job done. I Old Trafford, it's going to be a tough environment. But I don't really care because I think we've seen that Liverpool can kind of do whatever they need to
Yeah.
do no matter where they're at and get the job done. So I'm really looking forward to that one because
Yeah.
I
Me
just
too.
I want to see I think Klopp will put out our best 11 given the circumstances and the amount of rest time
I
we have
agree.
after, and I'm really excited to watch that because I feel like it's been a
Yeah.
while since we've seen
The,
that.
the other part for United, Hoyland, their striker. I don't know if he's back from injury or not for that game.
He could be.
I
I
don't know.
think the news
Yeah.
is that he could
I
be.
yeah. If he's healthy, he has to play. He's their best chance for any kind of hold up
Yeah.
play. But yeah, if he's not there, I don't. Unless they just have a quick break or nick a set piece, like I
Yeah.
just don't really see them causing too many problems.
Yep. Yep. What's next in the Premier League? It did feel kind of like this is the calm after the city storm at Anfield. There's quite the break between now and the next time that we see Premier League action, which is in like 19 days, which is kind of crazy.
Hmm.
There are some pretty massive games happening the next time around, which most notably is Manchester City hosting Arsenal at the Etihad. That is now the most important fixture on the list. Obviously,
Yep.
Liverpool have to continue to win. They are home against some team that I can't remember.
Brighton, I think.
Brighton, that's right. Brighton, yeah, good side in Brighton. I think they're currently like
Yeah.
seventh or eighth in the Premier League. Always a dangerous team, so we can't
They're
overlook that.
also they're hampered by a lot of injuries too,
Yeah,
and they're worse off for it.
yep. But we will be watching with interest the
Yeah.
Etihad on the 31st. Real quick, Kenny, what do you think happens in that one? I know it's early. There's 18 days left. Obviously, Ederson, I think, is not available for that. I heard he was out
Yeah.
for about 4 weeks, so no Ederson at the Etihad. What do you think is going to happen?
Honestly, from watching Ortega when he came in for Liverpool, he's a lot more calmer with the ball at his feet than I honestly thought he would be. So definitely credit to him for that. He'll probably be fine. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah,
He's a Pep player, so I honestly think he'll slot in just fine. Um, Honestly, like, the biggest thing about Arsenal is that they are healthy, and that's like the most important thing for them. Because honestly, if they had like two or three injuries, like kind of anywhere in the field, I feel
yeah,
like there's such a massive drop
yeah,
off. And so if they stay healthy like through this Champions League game, I think they're playing today, and then
It's a big one
I
too.
think yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're down 1-0. So if they stay healthy through that, and then they get through to playing City at the Etihad, they do have a chance. Like they are really good. Their offense is absolutely firing. Ever since Jorginho came into that defensive mid role, it gives Declan Rice a little bit more license to go forward. Like he's been so effective in that. And but I just like City at the Etihad like really is hard to get at.
Yeah.
But, like again, City, like you can see the way that like Liverpool did. Liverpool figured this team out in 15 minutes and then never looked back.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a pretty good game. Like City are gonna definitely be dangerous. I feel like I just give it to City. I feel like they take this game. I want to say 2-1 City. I could honestly see a 1-1 draw, 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
Arsenal could probably nick a result. I'm more confident in City at home taking that game.
Yeah, I think it could go either way. It's really hard to bet on a Man City loss at the Etihad, and at the same time, Arsenal are on a record pace here in the past month. Really, in 2024, they are unbelievable. I don't think they've lost. I don't think they've dropped any points in 2024.
Yeah. Outside the loss to Porto, they've been perfect, I think.
Yeah, in the Premier League, they've just been screaming. So
yeah.
That'll be a fun one to watch, especially because there's guaranteed points dropped between the other two teams that Liverpool are struggling against for that top spot in the Premier League. But we will see. It'll be fun to see what happens. So there's kind of a quick wrap up of what's happening in the next 2 weeks for Liverpool. Still everything to play for. The Klopp-druple is still well on, and we will see what the boys in red are up to over the next 2 weeks.
Up the Reds and up the All Red Show.
That's what I'm talking about, Kenny. Thanks for watching this All Red clip. If you like this video, please let us know by clicking the like button and commenting below. And as always, please consider joining the All Red community by subscribing to our channel here on YouTube. It's easy, it's free, and it's all red. And you're welcome to stay as long as you like. I'll be here a while, so you can hang out or you can go start watching another video. There's a lot more on YouTube, so okay. Still here, so props to you for sticking around. But I actually have to go now, so